Oh.
Yeah, I'm just going to trust that it's recording. It says it's recording. All right, everybody, just a little technical difficulty. I want to welcome you to the Thriving Mindfully Circle for 7 days. We're inhaling, we're exhaling, and hopefully we're stressing less during this election season. The holiday season is coming up, the end of the year. And so for 7 days, we're coming together, whether you can do it one day, 2 days, or all of the 7 days. We're coming together as a community to co-create safe and sacred space. I'm going to be sharing the 5 self-care vitamins that I've been using in my own life for the past 30 years and in my work with my wellness company, Ananda Leeke Consulting, and in the Thriving Mindfully Academy. So, with all that said, let's start with what I always like to start with, a mindful moment, and just get grounded together. All right. Right where you are, if it feels good to adjust yourself. I know I am in my sunny yellow kitchen. I just uncrossed my legs. I am just noticing how I feel. Got one of my favorite batiks dresses on and my crystals. And I'm just noticing my feet and how they feel resting on the floor. The floor is our connection to Mother Earth. So just noticing how the body feels. And if the body wants to lean back or lay down or stand up, allow the body to do what it needs to do. Taking a moment to bring the shoulders all the way up to the ears, and then allowing them to slowly come back down. And then taking a big breath in, and then letting it out with a sigh. If you haven't already and it feels good, go ahead and close the eyes. If you want to keep the eyes open, just lower your gaze slightly. And just notice the breath as it moves in and out of the body. This is the breath of life that we get to experience each moment. Just noticing the breath and how it feels in the body. Inviting you to bring one hand to the belly and one hand to your heart. And then joining me in taking some big breaths, and I'll guide us. So let's inhale through the nose. Hold the breath just for a moment and notice how the breath feels in the belly. And then slowly exhale through the nose. Inhale again through the nose. Hold the breath. And then exhale through the mouth with a sigh. Inhale one more time. And now as you exhale, notice the sound of your breath. And then bring the other hand to the heart so that both hands are connecting to the heart, and notice the sensation of the heartbeat. This heart area is where we can be vulnerable with ourselves. It's where we can practice the birthright that we each get, this mindfulness, this ability to be aware of what's happening inside of the heart, inside of the spirit, inside of the body, the mind. Mindfulness is this gift that we can give to ourselves each day to be aware of what's happening, to notice when we are experiencing stress, to notice when we're anxious, to notice when we're afraid, to notice when we're angry, sad, depressed, to notice when we're in need of this beautiful thing called loving kindness. Taking a big breath in, letting it out, allowing yourself just to be still, removing the hands from the body, from the heart, and allowing them to hang near your body or on your body, resting on your body. And then taking a moment to set an intention for what you'd like to experience during today's Thriving Mindfully Circle. An intention is a statement about what you want to experience in terms of the quality that you want to bring to this time together. Maybe you want to bring a quality of awareness or loving kindness or mindfulness, which is awareness. Maybe just calm or just an openness. Taking another big breath in and then out. So as you open your eyes and you notice how you're feeling in the body, in the mind, in the spirit, and the heart, I want to share with you some reminders. I think we all know this. Sometimes we just need a reminder. As I mentioned in our mindful moment, mindfulness is this ability that each of us is born with. I call it a birthright. It becomes a practice when we choose to use it to open the door to our awareness and to shift our power in how we choose to show up in our days, our power in how we choose to respond to the stress. That power lives inside of our hearts. That's why we connected with the heart. When we talk about thriving mindfully, we're really saying that it's a heart-centered approach to being present, well, and the real you. Not always easy to do, especially when we're stressed, but you can use that birthright of mindfulness, a simple breath in and a breath out, to practice self-care, to tap into your heart, where loving kindness lives. Loving kindness is a lot of different things, and I want to hear what loving kindness means to you. And I think I'm going to go back in the slide before just to ask you, what does loving kindness mean to you? And then I'll share what it means to me.
Loving kindness for me is being, kind to yourself and to those around you.
Mhm.
Really sharing and spreading love wherever you go to make a difference in this world.
Mhm. I high five you, my soror. If you didn't know, Kamaria and I are sorors of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, and it is officially Rovember, which is
Remember.
another way of us saying Founders Day month. And so it's with joy that I have my soror of what? It's almost been 40
Almost
years.
fall of 87.
Yes,
Oh
for
my
so many years. Not just my soror, but my soul sister love and my partner in all kinds of adventures.
Absolutely.
Yes, 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 yes. I
Absolutely.
loved your definition, and it really echoes what I have come to define loving kindness as. And I love the fact that you started with being kind to yourself.
Mm.
World Kindness Day is November the 13th. And in 2020, during another election cycle, I noticed in myself as well as with my clients and the members of the Thriving Mindfully Academy and community that we were all under a lot of stress, not only from the election, but from the early days of the pandemic. I don't know if you can remember that, but woo, that was some tight times. And
Mhm.
so Spirit inspired me to create Loving Kindness Month as a way to remind us all of the importance of being kind to yourself. Just what you said is
Mhm.
befriending yourself, that kindness, that gentleness. And I would also say befriending yourself with non-judgment in everything that you feel, think, say, and do. I know I have often found it easier sometimes to be kind to others before I'm kind to myself
Mhm.
because I have this inner critic, Broomhilda, that lives inside of me, and she can run wild and make it difficult for me to practice that non-judgment because the criticism is always there. One of the things that I've learned over the years is that when I am able to be kind to myself, that I'm able to practice loving kindness, I come home to my real self, not the ego, but the self that lives in the heart, where I'm very vulnerable with myself. Like this morning, I needed a little extra time. I had this plan where I was going to get up, go to the gym, just purchase a gym membership, got the discount, signed up for the trainer, did all the paperwork. I've been, but I wanted to start November off with a morning workout. Well, you know where I was because I got so caught up in what was happening with the elections. I wanted to know what everybody was saying. Digital distraction, digital overload, whatever you want to call it, too much time online that I stayed up late and I needed to sleep. And so the first thing I thought about was I can just push through. And I said, no, it's Loving Kindness Month. Of all months, come on. You can go to the gym this evening. You're going to switch some things around, but you have that option. So I was able to befriend myself with gentleness and non judgment
Mhm.
and come home to myself. Loving kindness allows you to look in the mirror and see and accept who you truly are without judgment. That meant, guess what? I did not do all the things that I said I was going to do in the month of October. I've been working on a big project each week. And so I have a project, full disclosure, full transparency with my financial advisor that I need to submit. So, guess what? I'm working on this weekend, that project with my financial advisor. And I'm just going to give myself some grace, baby, because that's what Loving Kindness Month is all about. It's a reminder to be kind to
Absolutely.
ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you, I want to ask you, KT, when you are having some challenges with loving kindness, how does it show up in your life?
You know what? The last couple weeks I've been feeling stressed and out of sorts and not being able to stick to a schedule. So
I know
it,
that's driving you crazy because you're a
it,
scheduling queen.
yes, and so because I've been out of sorts, I get tired and so then I just won't do anything for a minute or
Mhm.
two or three or four. And I just say, you know what? I'll tackle it tomorrow. So I wanted to jump on here today, to say, let me get myself centered because,
Yeah.
the election is stressful and just adding that stress on top of stress because it's so much to do on the to-do list. It's like just take a few minutes to just breathe, be kind to
Mhm.
myself,
Mhm.
and just say, you know what, it's gonna get done when it gets done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some opportunities I've missed because I just wasn't able to get myself together.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it is. I think it's safe to say that when you are recovering high achievers like ourselves, and we've been in recovery for quite some time, since the 90s.
Oh, long journey. Oh my
Three
goodness.
decades of recovery. Hi, my name is Ananda, and I am an overachieving anonymous member. And I have struggles in that area. I think it's safe to
Absolutely.
say that loving kindness becomes the lifeline, for
Yes.
us.
Yeah.
And it's it's one of the five self-care vitamins that I constantly remind myself to practice and uh,
Mhm.
to actively seek out, especially when I'm stressing and I'm judging myself and I'm on the hamster wheel and I find
Mhm.
myself, wearing myself out in my mind,
Mhm.
emotionally and
Mhm.
physically, because it's the mind that really does it. So one of the things that helps me is doing a loving kindness meditation. And I wanted to share something very quick. And I want to invite you and those that are watching the recording to come up with your own. It doesn't have to be long, y'all. We get 1,440 minutes each and every
Mhm.
day. And we have this thing called the breath that is always with us. And the breath can be your reminder of your birthright of mindfulness, the ability to be aware of what's happening in your heart, in your spirit, in your mind, in your body, in your life. The breath can also be the lifeline to your birthright of self care and loving kindness. That practice of being still just for one of those minutes takes care of three things: mindfulness, loving kindness, and self care. So if you like to check
Mhm.
off like we do, because we make lists and we do check, if you have to do that in order to navigate, life and stress and anxiety that comes from elections, comes from living, comes from relationships, family, friends, creativity, your business, your career, whatever. If you have to check off things like we do, then you've got three checks, baby. And that's a beautiful thing, and you can celebrate. So, I want to walk us through a loving kindness meditation, and it's pretty short. And it's not the traditional loving kindness meditation that a lot of people will probably think of. But the beauty of it is that I've made it my own. And I want to encourage you to find what works for you. And if what I'm sharing works for you, hey, rock on with it. That's what it's for.
Mhm.
So let's take a moment to notice what the body needs. I know for myself right now, the body needs to sit up against my pillow. And my feet are not necessarily resting on the floor because the body wants the feet just to be. Being 5'1", sometimes they don't always touch the floor. And my hands are resting in my lap and they're holding some crystals, rose quartz crystal
Mm. Mm.
and a
Wonderful.
clear quartz crystal just to ground me. My glasses want to come off. That's being kind to myself.
Yeah, so this is off.
Yeah, just take a moment to give the body what it needs in order to practice loving kindness. If you want to lay down, you can. I know if I wasn't leading this session, I would be laying down. I'd be on my yoga mat, laid out, y'all.
We sleep.
Getting ready to go to sleep. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. If that's where this loving kindness meditation leads you, so be it. It's all good. The body just needed it. And then I want to invite you, if it feels good, to close the eyes, just to close the eyes. If you need to lean forward or lean to the side or lean to the other side or lean back some, just so that the body feels good, because I know I just need to lean in a little bit, lean back rather. And then joining me in taking 4 big breaths. Let's inhale deeply through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. Inhale again deeply through the nose. Hold that breath. And then exhale with a ha. Inhale again. And then exhale. Ah. And then taking one more big breath in, holding the breath, and then exhaling through the mouth with a soft smile. And just allowing yourself to be, noticing the sounds around you. And then shifting your awareness to the sensations in the body. Maybe bringing one or both hands to the heart to connect with the heartbeat sensation. Maybe you notice sensations in your feet, tingling, tension. But just noticing any sensations. And then paying attention to the thoughts in the mind, not trying to push those thoughts away or to do anything about the thoughts, but just noticing those thoughts. Being kind to the mind, just noticing them. Meditation is this gift we give to ourselves to slow down and to befriend the mind, to be kind to the mind, and to pay attention to the thoughts in the mind, the sensations in the body, the breath as it moves in and out of the body. And then taking a moment to tune in to these loving kindness statements. And if they resonate with you and you feel called to, repeat them to yourself or out loud. May I befriend myself with gentleness and non-judgment. May I befriend myself with gentleness and non-judgment. May I befriend myself with gentleness and non-judgment. Taking a big breath in and letting it out. Taking a moment to give yourself a nice, juicy hug, knowing that every time you hug yourself, you activating your self-care superpowers of oxytocin, the love hormone, and the feel-good hormone of serotonin. And together, they help to reduce the stress hormone of cortisol in the body. And as you're hugging yourself, taking a moment to tune into this loving kindness statement. May I slow down to give myself the self-care I need. May I slow down to give myself the self-care I need. May I slow down to give myself the self-care I need. Taking a big breath in and then letting it out. Releasing yourself from this beautiful hug if it feels comfortable. If you want to continue to hug yourself, go ahead. And as we close, tuning into this last loving kindness statement and repeating it if it resonates with you. May I accept myself for where I am. May I accept myself where I am. May I accept myself where I am. Taking one last big breath in and then out. Opening the eyes. Bringing some movement back into the body, maybe wiggling the fingers, the toes, the wrists, the ankles, maybe shaking the arms or stretching the arms if you need to. Stretching the back. If you need to stand and stretch, do that. Stretching the neck. So, how are you feeling?
Ooh, relaxed.
All right.
feeling relaxed. Yes,
Wow.
thank you, sis. Feeling
Thank
relaxed.
you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to let everybody know that there is a little homework if you feel inclined to participate.
Mhm,
But I want you to think about 1 to 3 things that you can do to practice loving kindness for yourself
mm,
in November. 1 to 3 things. We talked about the breath today. That's always available to you. You get 1,440 minutes. So you can do 1 to 3 breaths and still have more than enough to give yourself a self hug. We talked about that. You could do a mindful moment. You could do a meditation. There's so many different resources out there. You can go to anandaleek.com/ self care and get more information. You can go to my YouTube channel and find out more. So I want to also invite you to not only a free week of Thriving Mindfully circles, we have some dedicated circles in November and December that focus on how to navigate through change. Change could include your neighbors called the fire station, the police department, and when you hear the noises that make you say, why? That's a small change because it disrupts my flow in offering these sessions, especially when the window's open. Uh, but yes, these sessions are offered on a donation basis. You can go to anandaleek.com/events. No one will be turned away. It's a sliding scale. You pay what you want. And if you're not able to pay, guess what? You already give us your presence, and that's all we really need. So that's November 17th, December 8th from 7 to 7:30 p.m. anandaleek.com/events. I also want to remind you that we have 6 more days of the Thriving Mindfully Circles at 12 noon. You can join me on November 2nd through the 8th right here on Zoom. It's the same link every single day. So you will get reminders because I'll click on to remind folks. Uh, but if you want to reach out to me, you can go to anandaleek.com and sign up for the newsletter to get updates. The events are at events. There's a Thriving Mindfully podcast with 7 different seasons. You can email me. You can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube and LinkedIn at Ananda Leeke. I think that's it. I want to thank you all for joining me. Again, this video will be made available on YouTube. I'll share it on social media and it will be shared in the Thriving Mindfully Resource Network as well. So I will see you when I see you the next time. I am going to stop the recording so I can chat with my soror.